I do not want her to represent herself. I'm sorry. I don't know. When people represent when people represent themselves, it's just like, I don't know. I'd rather have professional attorneys up there. Please don't represent yourself. Okay, so we got August 26th letter. 100 more days of no communication. Judge Wayne C. Wooten, Orlando, Florida. Sarah Boone, case number, da-da-da-da-da. She writes, Judge Wooten, how do you feel about your attorney withdrawing? During an attempted video visit by a misrepresented, shifty reporter, this is how I was made aware of my attorney, Frank J. Bankowitz, cowardly, and for the second time trying to ungracefully bow out of my case. Mr. Matt Johnson, please honor the integrity and the ethics of a real reporter and not camouflage yourself as my friend in order to push your way through the rules and regulations of the correctional facility. Professional is also not an option. Professional is also an option when scheduling, but clearly does not pertain to you. Should I make it bigger? Just don't schedule at all, as I have nothing to report to you or court TV altogether. You're not even a real news channel and only add to the confusion and hysterics wrongfully, illegally, and inappropriately concocted in my case. Do not contact damn court TV. You guys aren't even a real news channel. I love court TV. From my perspective, am I surprised my attorney is trying to yet again give up completely? No. Is it a blessing? Yes. Let's be honest. Frank J. Bankowitz is a dud of an attorney. He is so unprofessional, hides, lies, and is disrespectful. I had a feeling when the other attorneys spoke about him, winced, sighed, or rolled eyes, saying they have some of his clients. I don't know if I believe this. She said she had a feeling when other attorneys spoke about him. Who has she been speaking to? What attorneys are speaking to her? I don't know if I believe that. And after finding his 3 public reprimands, I announced to the court, which he said pissed him off, being the reason for his first attempted withdrawal. This is going to be an adventure, but nonetheless, hope for the best. Unfortunately, I seem to have gotten the worst. Thankfully, there are many other professionals and scrupulous, valiant attorneys still available. And hopefully after all my previous letters and 6 withdrawals to date, not by my choice, Judge Wooten, you will remove the blindfold this time. Look at her making demands here. You will remove. Like, oh my God, how could you talk to a judge like this, man? You will remove the blindfold this time when throwing your darts of justice at the remember everyone has a constitutional right and should be treated fairly dartboard. And you wear glasses, so let's go for the bullseye. Please, thank you in advance for hopefully caring this time. She's getting a 7th attorney, but I don't know. We'll see if the 7th attorney has any conflict of interest or anything like that. 7th attorney might not be the attorney, or maybe. I'll keep refreshing the Orange County page and see if there's anything that pops up. Also, if you're insistent on continuing to be my judge, as revolution is supposed to be every 2 years. What is she talking about? Is this like a history reference? I'm ongoing 4 now, and you've stated to me in your courtroom previously, I have not because I asked not. May you please observe and act independently as a judge and utilize your judicial authority to judicially maintain forward direction of proper, lawful, ethical treatment and respect of the client in any case, effective communication between all parties, especially the client and attorney, is being made. The fuck is she talking about? Productive regular progress is being achieved and all around fairness of and in every aspect is constant. Listen, Frank Bankowitz did mention at some point that he wasn't ready. He didn't think he was going to be ready for the trial to actually happen. But the judge was like, no, you know what? Let's just schedule it for now. We'll do like a update and let's see where it goes from there. Like, it seems like the judge wants this to happen. I don't think the judge is really hindering anything in this trial. I think he just wants it to happen. And, Frank Bankowitz has showed that like, oh, I'm kind of busy. I got some other stuff going on. But the judge's like, no, let's just schedule and then we'll do an update and you can tell me what your progress is. Ay. So, where am I? Oh God, I'm lost. Jesus, where were we? Judicially maintain forward direction, proper, lawful, ethical treatment, and respect of the client in any case, effective communication between all parties, especially the client and the attorney. I don't know how much power a judge has or how much a judge wants to intervene between, essentially what he said, being a referee between a, client and an attorney. I just don't know. I wish we can talk to, or maybe we could listen to like some judges, maybe like Court TV, maybe Law and Crime. Maybe they'll have some judges on their panels. That'd be really interesting. Because I do want to know, like, how often does a judge put his foot down and kind of like, be the referee between the two of them? I don't know if that's really the judge's job. That seems like way too much work. And the judge probably has a bunch of other things that they could be doing. Especially between the client and attorney, is being made. Productive, regular progress is being achieved, and all around fairness of and in every aspect is constant. Aren't you tired of getting my letters? Always asking about the same questions, concerns, and drab information? Please do not ignore and avoid what I have to say any longer, as I'm sure the taxpayers are unapproving of their tax dollars. Mine too. Being wasted for all of my attorneys, you keep blundering. It took almost 14 months before my I told you so moment with Bankowitz and all of my other attorneys, 42 months total. Please also see finally the absolute unfairness, fabrications, impediments, illegalities, and dysfunctions ongoing in my case, and how truly, unmistakably ransacked by the justice system and perverted by the whole world my entire case has been and become, and yourself also to the mayhem, hype, and added difficulties. I have an unfair opportunity in everything with all the predisposed, non-permissive, illegally distributed, case-altering, sensitive information and details spread globally for everyone's viewing, except me. My hand is known before the cards are even out of the box. There's not a bell anywhere that hasn't already been rung for all to hear. Seeds have been planted, all illegally and unfairly. For the monumental amount of the time, allowing the world to abuse and devastate my private case information, lack of proper orders, not having an appropriate attorney, and non-existent security and protection of any kind for all said information becoming so easily accessible, mutated, and shared without my permission and before my trial. It is unfair and unlawful that a heavily prejudiced, ignorant, incorrect prejudgment has been made as a result. This could have been stopped, listened, or averted if someone was doing their job correctly. I am still doing mine by telling you so. I am not wrong. No, still, I believe it all depends on how much money, notoriety, and benefits anyone and everyone can get for themselves. And however, no matter the destruction caused or the ominous, irreputable shadow made along the very lucrative way, a system for all the wrong reasons. As for Bankowitz and his irreconcilable differences, this means because I asked again about his phantom phone numbers and any progress occurring since not speaking to him in months and after. 408 days, 58 weeks plus, 9,792 hours of his representation. Listen, when you have to break it down like this, you have an issue. You could just say 408 days. You don't need to do the weeks. You don't need to do the hours. Like, you made your point, Sarah. From the date of appointment, 7/11 to withdrawal attempt, 8/22/23. Like, I get it. It makes it seem like a lot more time has passed when you're putting like thousands of numbers up there, like 9,009, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it's been like 2 months. Okay. It's been 2 months right here. But I don't know what she's talking about the 408 days though. Is she saying that like she didn't speak with him on 7/11 when they had their other hearing? With only 6 in-person meetings totaling plus or minus 7 hours out of the 9. This is just batshit crazy to me. So she's saying that like, oh, he's been my lawyer for 9,792 hours. And of those hours, and yes, I'm going to count the times where he should be sleeping. I've only had 7 hours with him. 4 to 15-minute video visits. Literally, she's just trying to inflate her argument by just saying like 408 days, 58. Okay, I'm sorry. Holy shit. And 2 phone numbers given, 0 working, 0 calls answered. 10 letters from me, client, trying to communicate, no response. 8 letters from me, client, to judge, no response, productively. 4 letters from me, client, to my investigator, asking to attempt communication on my behalf to Bankowitz. 5 known attempts by investigator, C8223 letter, by himself directly and on my behalf. No response. I'm curious about that, though, the investigator one. 9 attempts made by outside sources on my behalf, including phone calls, voicemails, emails. No response. Also, trying to use recycled components in my case. No discovery, witness list, research, orders, instructions, records, depositions, downloads, etc. after 13 months. Nothing but confirmation of his lack of professionalism, principles, disrespect, lies, and not caring. And please note, 11 out of the 13 months were/are with no communications, none in any form. You know, I could have sworn before she said she barely got to talk to him, but now we're seeing that she did have 6 in-person meetings. That was like 7 hours total. I gotta look at her older letters. Can she write my college assignments? The only difference is I want progress, productivity, honesty, respect, and results. If he were such a professional attorney from the beginning and not selling me on his stable, by the way, professional and attorney, you could just quotations both of the words together, Sarah. From the beginning and not selling me on his stable of witnesses, historical background, and all of his abundant resources, he still wouldn't be avoiding and cowering behind his now second attempt to withdraw. Number 2, promotion to withdraw. Clearly, everyone can see anyone not lobotomized in my slides would be highly unsatisfied. Like in her shoes, slides? Okay. Highly unsatisfied with Bankowitz. Overall performance as attorney, see prior data. And no dedication has been made on his part in my case. Dude, you can tell her hands are starting to cramp up. The handwriting starts off pretty nice, you know? Pretty nice, pretty decent. I think her hand's cramping up right now because or she's just getting really angry. Get a little sloppy now. She's cramping up. Something about lobotomize. Overall performance as attorney, see prior data, no dedication has been made on his part in my case or any productive progress or effort. She's essentially just repeating herself over and over again from all the other letters that she wrote. I don't know. It's kind of like when you're dealing with someone and they're not getting what they want. So they think that repeating it over and over again is at some point going to get through, or maybe being louder, being more insulting. But again, we're only seeing this from Sarah Boone's side. We haven't really heard anything from the attorneys or anything like that, because obviously it's like, you know, privileged communication. But this is all from Sarah Boone's side. So, you know, like, I take it with a grain of salt. What time has been put forth solely the 7 out of 9,792 in 13 months. Number 3, promotion to withdraw. As I reminded Bankowitz during the 104 video visits and him repeatedly telling me how busy he is with all his other murder cases. And again, no communication for months. I politely raised my hand to the camera where he could see me and said, murder case. I am your client also and have been. When do I get to go to trial like all the other clients? He said he had to think about everything and disconnected. So he just hung up on her. No word since 100 days later, except for the withdrawal I learned about from court TV. Not him. I could also see it going differently. Maybe she kept asking him the same question over and over again. Maybe he gave her legit reasons. At some point when she asked him for maybe like the 20th time, maybe at some point he did get frustrated, just disconnected from her. I don't know. Again, this is all from her perspective, her side of the words. Again, you got to also remember, this is also the same person who did those interrogations, who also did the, you know, police body cam interviews, and her side of the story, you know, before the video came out where, you know, she was videotaping her boyfriend in the suitcase as he was begging to come out. Her side of the story was like, oh no, we're just playing hide and go seek. What are you talking about? We're just playing hide and go seek. I didn't even know that he was in there. I forgot all about it. I woke up the next morning and, why didn't I call 911? I mean, I did call 911. Oh, CPR. I did do CPR. I don't know. Like, I don't know. We've seen what she said. We've seen the video recording, and we've seen like how she will take something and kind of like morph it differently. Yeah. And obviously her attorney can't come out and really say anything unless one day he decides to write a book about this. I don't know if we're do you think Elaine would take Sarah as a client? I don't think Elaine wants to deal with anyone, any batshit crazy people anymore. She probably learned her lesson. She's repeating the same thing over and over again. Yeah. And then she's just telling more numbers, higher numbers, you know, to try to make her argument. If Sarah had enough money, Elaine might push retirement. Motion to withdraw. Judge Wooten, with everything I have stated and all of my information produced to you in all of my previous letters, so you're aware, clearly Bankowitz should not continue being my attorney. Wouldn't you agree? Clearly you should have listened and reviewed much earlier when I was trying to communicate with you 10 letters ago, just about him. Please listen and include me going forward. It is my right. Oh, God. Break my neck. Okay, you guys have to break your neck for this. Just kidding. With that being said, and because in the past you have stated to me you have other priorities, not allowing me rightful, appropriate time to speak in your courtroom, when I am allowed permittance to my meetings and I am on your schedule for that day. 4 times going to court with Bankowitz, total time with all the other attorneys, 3. 7 times and ongoing 4 years. So this is when I don't know what she's documenting here. April 29, 2022, first attorney, the withdrawal attempt. Yeah, that was last year. May 10th, first attorney withdrawal attempt, agreed and granted. December 27th, sixth attorney withdrawal attempt. This is Frank Bankowitz, by the way. Denied. I never even knew about it until stated in court during status hearing. No copies received yet. Okay, so she's saying she hasn't received any copies. February 10, 2023, status hearing, carryover. March 31, status hearing. May 25th, status hearing, carryover. Judge said that was delayed trial. Me, hence my letter, dated 6/29, hand delivered, second copy, 7/21/23. July 21st, 2023, status hearing, carryover. Judge said he has other priorities for the day when I was trying to address the court. Did he say that verbatim? That he had other priorities? Maybe. Please grant Frank J. Bankowitz motion to withdraw as my attorney. I, Sarah Boone, permit Judge Wayne C. Wooten to release Frank J. Bankowitz entirely from my case for obvious aforementioned reasons stated. I will allow withdrawal when it should be termination. We all know it. Me and my hope. Next, ... Oh my God. I will allow the withdrawal. So she's essentially taking the power back into her, as if she really has a choice to allow that or not. I mean, he does ask her for her opinion, but I wonder, actually I wonder this. If she was like, you know what, I want to keep him as my attorney, and then the lawyer wants to withdraw, I wonder what happens. How does a judge decide then? Would the judge just be like, okay, all right, you said you want to keep him? All right, you keep him then. Nope, there's more. I'm not done yet. There's more. There's a whole ass another letter to read. In the meantime of the selection of my next attorney, aim, please. Again, she wants him to aim at the dartboard. And also going forward, please enable and support me in still trying to utilize my constitutional rights as a still proud citizen of the United States and stop willingly, actively allowing the violations of said rights. See previous letter dated May 15, 23. Please include me. Please listen to what I have to say. No one else does or has. It is my case. Hopefully, futuristically with a better, more appropriate, professional attorney for choosing, less letters, if any, will be generated, and more time you will have to dedicate to all your priorities you have made known to me in the past. Please know also, Your Honor, I know that I'm not a priority as you condescendingly and incorrectly stated, nor am I making myself out to be or ever have been. I mean, if you're not making yourself to be or have been, then why is it incorrectly stated then? Obviously, you're saying that you are a priority, and that's why it was incorrectly stated. But now you're saying that you never made yourself to be or ever been. I'm a little confused there. My entire life. Oh, no, I don't know if I believe that statement. Nor am I making myself to be or ever have been in anything my entire life. I don't know, Sarah, based on the tone of this letter and all the letters that you sent, I don't know if I believe that. I am a client to my attorney, now 7th and all prior, an inmate to the county jail and criminal case for your righteous judgments still. Clearly, after yet another letter from me and another withdrawal, not by my choice, and 42 uneventful months later, still looking for the starting line and 7 times more. Nothing has been made priority. Oh no, I love Cousin Vinny. We're not gonna get Cousin Vinny stressed up into this mess, okay? Hi, Caitlin, how are you doing today? Please help Bankowitz wipe the sweat from his brow and inform him he can stop the self-sabotage. He is no longer my attorney. Amen. My perseverance is real, so is my truth. I can't wait to meet the bullseye. Court-appointed, audacious, gratitude, Sarah Boone. Oh, Lord. Oh, there's more. Important. Please send me a copy of this letter as the court used to. Consistency? ? So I have my receipt and I know that it was received and hopefully read. I do not have the resources being in jail still to make this needed copy myself, nor the panking to rewrite. Yeah, her hand is starting to cramp up. Hopefully my next letter will be less involved from all the necessary remedies being made. Also, my attorney is really an attorney. Thank you in advance for the copy, 10 pages, your caring and precious time. I will look for the mail once the copy has been mailed. Again, so grateful. She's so grateful, guys. I wonder how she would be if she wasn't grateful. You can't dump me. I'm dumping you first. That's true, Valerie. I do get that sense. All right, that is letter number 1. 4 days later, she writes another letter and she sounds pissed. Let's see why. August 30, 2023. All right. She writes, Clerk of Courts, Judge Wooten, anyone. So confused, so tired of perpetual question marks over my head. As usual, thanks to the ongoing convolution of everything from no communication, no system, not including me, and no care, I can't ask my attorney because he's trying to withdraw again. I wouldn't get a response anyways. It's funny how the only piece of correspondence via mail I've actually received from Bankowitz is his motion to withdraw his counsel. Okay, so she got it in the mail. Okay. Judge Wooten, please clarify my requested information as follows so I, the defendant in my case, can prepare and plan accordingly. See letter dated 6/29/23, hand delivered, second copy, 7/21/23. What is going on? This information in question is all I have from an outside source looking on the clerk's website to keep me updated since no one else will. I've tried to dilute some of the question marks, but need you, Judge Wooten, to help me get it correct and begin my preparation. Please clarify and send copies for. Filed July 21st, 2023. Title, Notice of Hearing. 4, Pretrial Conference. When? September 8, 2023 at 9 a.m. Defendants receive copy? Yes, from court. Is defendant attending? Unknown. I mean, Judge Wooten did say that from now on, you will be attending these hearings. He literally said it, I think like 2 hearings ago. He literally said that you're going to attend these hearings from now on. Ay. Okay. Maybe she just needs his affirmation every time there's a scheduled hearing, but you're not going to get that. Once the judge says something's going to happen, I'm sure he's going to try to make it happen. Filed July 26, 2023. Title, Notice of Ex Parte. 4, Notice of Ex Parte. When? September 8, 2023 at 9 a.m. Defendant received copy? No. Need copy. Is defendant attending? Unknown. I thought the pretrial conference was on this date. See previous filing? Is this meeting for the recycled psychologist? Who is the recycled psychologist? And why are they being referenced as a recycled psychologist? Now, she did mention recycled in her previous letter when she was talking about recycled arguments or something like that, which I was a little confused what she was talking about. But why are we calling this psychologist a recycled psychologist? What's going on with the psychologist? Why didn't I receive a copy from court? Why didn't I receive a copy from the attorney? Filed August 22nd, 2023. Notice of hearing. Status hearing. September 15, 2023, 9 a.m. Defendant received copy? Yes, from court. Is defendant attending? Unknown. Like I said, the judge literally says that from now on, you're going to be attending these hearings. Is this for the motion to withdraw? It was filed on the same day. If not, what is it for specifically? Why did I receive a copy from my attorney? I could have sworn, I'm pretty sure so when the judge said that there was going to be some upcoming hearings, I'm pretty sure she was there and he gave the dates. So he was probably like, yep, we'll do September 8 for, let's do like a pretrial conference and then September 15 for something else. Did he not? I could have sworn she did. Okay. Why didn't I receive a copy from the attorney? Blah, blah, blah. Filed August 22nd, 2023. Motion to withdraw as counsel. Defendant received copy? Yes, from attorney. Why did I receive a copy from the court? Because you got it from the attorney. You got a copy? All right. Filed August 22nd, 2023. Notice of filing. 4, motion to withdraw. Bankowitz signed document. When? September 8. Defendant receive copy? No, from either. Need copy. Is defendant attending? Unknown. 2 meetings already scheduled on this day. See previous things. What is correctly happening? This was filed the same day as the attorney's motion to withdraw. Why didn't I receive a copy from this from him also? Why didn't the court send a copy with the status hearing notice filed the same day as the motion to withdraw? Which date is correct for the actual motion to withdraw? Again, what is going on and when? I am rarely included in any of the certificate of service for any document filed or anything else. It should be an automatic inclusion. Please send revised and or all correct copies of the aforementioned documents so I have it for my records, and is the only way I know unless I'm able to find an outside source. Again, receiving copies of notifications, updates, schedules, everything to all of my meetings, conferences should be automatic so I know. It is my right. Please include. Finally. Am I really the only one who is trying to figure anything out about my case to finally conclude? Shouldn't I, the defendant of all the parties in my case, be included overall and receive necessary needed copies? Please clarify everything, Sarah Boone. So she doesn't get a response, obviously, from the judge, and she didn't really get to talk today. Just pent up anger. It's going to get worse and worse, man. Can you imagine her complaint reports filed to the jail? These are actually pages from her jailhouse diary. All are missing are her dream analysis. It's hard for us to separate our annoyance with her for the malicious treatment of her, of how she's been shorted. Listen, when I first read her letters, we were rolling our eyes for a bit. But, there were some things that she brought up was like, oh, damn, she hasn't seen her lawyer for a bit. And I wonder, what's going on there. And then she kept complaining. And then at some point, I don't know, I just started thinking, like, is she just exaggerating? Like, is there some miscommunication? Like, what is going on here? But we'll never be able to hear from the lawyer's side. So we're just going to keep hearing from her side, her version of events, her version of things. She spent all her money on stamps. I mean, honestly, if she feels like she's not being included in anything, hopefully she can reach out to a family friend, ex-husband, whatever, have them keep refreshing this webpage. And then, if there's anything, maybe they can write a letter or print it out and give it to her or something like that. I don't know. Not too sure. I don't know what the logistics are supposed to be. I don't really know how these things work. I don't know if she's exaggerating. I don't know if they are doing what they're supposed to do and she's just asking for more. I don't know if she's like overstepping. I don't know. But the way that she talks in these letters, her language, her tone, it's highly condescending. She sounds very arrogant at some points. Yeah, I do agree with you. It is hard to kind of parse out the difference between us being annoyed at her tone and then, whether or not her complaints are actually like legitimate or not. We trying here. You don't think the ex-husband has much like sympathy for her? She speaks to them like this. She's insane. Hide and go seek is legit excuse for murder. Yeah. Watch her interrogation. You can see what the attorneys are dealing with on a regular basis, like talking to the concrete wall she's encasing. Listen, I saw the body cam footage of when the police officer initially responded. And this is before they even accused her of doing anything. We saw how she was. It was me. Everything was about her. She even seemed like she even cared about her boyfriend. He was like, I need a cigarette. I'm so thirsty. Oh my God, let me go in. And she was just being insanely annoying. So, and this was before they accused her of the crime. Okay, we saw the interrogation too. So yeah, I mean, when we see videos like that, we are getting a little ounce of her personality. But I mean, she's not hiding it whatsoever in these letters. She's directly going after her lawyers, attacking the judge. Yep, I don't know. She needs to find some puzzles to keep her busy in jail. Someone sent her some Aquaman puzzles. Gummy bears. It's a long time to still have no trial. Yeah, I mean, the pandemic probably fucked a lot of things up. A lot of cases probably got pushed because the pandemic and the quarantine happened like 2020, like the first half. So that probably really fucked it up. Her first attorney was working on her case for the first 2 years, but something happened. First attorney withdrew from irreconcilable differences. And then we had a couple of other attorneys that withdrew because of conflict of interest. There might have been another attorney that also withdrew for irreconcilable differences. If you want to get something done, you do it with honey or something. What's that saying again? Basically, essentially, like, be nice to people. Don't be an asshole. Especially if you're relying on them to do things for you. She clearly waived her right to a speedy trial to save the right of attorney they have so that she can ultimately claim an ability to obtain effective counsel. I disagree. Watch the lawyer you know. Watch on the subject. I think a lot of her anger is absolutely justified. Well, when she mentioned, like I said earlier in the earlier letters, when she was saying that, like, you know, he wasn't meeting with her and stuff like that, I totally get that. But again, we are getting from her side of the story, and based off, you know, how she's been acting before all this stuff happened, the tone of her letters. I don't know. At some point, you know, like, I think maybe initially the lawyer did mess up and didn't get to meet with her as often. But maybe he decided to at some point, you know, especially after this being brought into light and maybe the judge has been noticing it, maybe he did try to meet up with her. Maybe he has been working on the case, but maybe she's just an absolute nightmare to work with. Maybe she is very demanding, but catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So I don't know. I don't know at this point. It just sounds like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We're only getting one side of the story. What is JAC? I forgot what they stood for. But essentially, JAC was the one that was supposed to approve the expert witnesses. But the only expert witness that they were able to find was someone that I think, like, I forgot what the hourly rate was for the approved one. But it was like the new experts' hourly rate was way higher than what they were willing to approve. So they were supposed to have this hearing today so JAC can look at their expert witness that they're supposed to have and approve the rates. But I don't know if that was going to go through or not. Justice Administrative Commission. I think that's what it is. Frank Bankowitz was like, the last time they redid the rates, it's been like 10 years, which is, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Because I know now that Frank Bankowitz, they were going to go for the battered spouse defense. They needed like an expert witness. And he did mention that they tried to get witnesses to come up and be an expert on this case, but they didn't want to touch it, especially with like how public everything was and they want to be involved or something. I think the extra amount they needed was for the court testimony. Yeah, because like the expert witness would have to be flown over and then they would have to be paid money to like testify and stuff like that. Just say the name, Sarah Boone. And I made sure I have a conflict of interest. I don't think you could just willy-nilly just like, oh, I have a conflict of interest. I can't represent. Sorry. You have to give like an actual reason and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe we should look at all the motions to withdraw and see how many of them was conflict of interest. So this is when Frank Bankowitz was denied the first time. That was in December. This is motion to withdraw. This is Frank Bankowitz. Motion for continuance. Oh, sorry. Withdraw. Let's start with the first one. I'm kind of curious. Motion to withdraw counsel. Let's see what this one is. So this is the Office of Public Defender was appointed, but then Mauricio Padilla filed a notice of appearance as counsel for the defendant. I don't know if Mauricio Padilla, if he was, I don't think he's a public defender. I don't know if she was like a hired attorney. I'm not quite sure. Or maybe he was doing this pro bono, possibly. This one. So this is when the lawyer that she had for roughly 2 years decides to withdraw. And this is about 1.5 years ago. So irreconcilable differences have arisen between the undersigned and defendant that's made it impossible for the undersigned to effectively represent his client. So Padilla Law Group from Miami. All he says right here is the undersigned is forced to withdraw as irreconcilable differences. This is the second lawyer, by the way, have arisen between the undersigned and defendant has made it impossible for the undersigned to effectively represent his client. As always, it is difficult to convey all particulars to the court and at the same time maintain all duties to the client. Undersigned's relationship with the defendant has become adversarial. The aforementioned adversarial relationship has interfered with the undersigned counsel's ability to effectively represent his client, especially preparing for a trial. Undersigned relationship with the defendant has deteriorated to the point where the undersigned counsel can no longer give effective aid to the fair representation of Ms. Boone's defense. This is when they assigned Frank Bankowitz. Yeah, so from my understanding, it's mostly conflict of interest, but we have 2 attorneys that cites irreconcilable differences.